Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Hey all, interesting question I got. What's this? You think the baby boomers deserve nursing home visits? My original gut instinct reaction was to say, fuck no, they don't. And after I thought about it more, I realized it's not that simple of a question or simple of an answer either. But it is an interesting thing that I think we all have to sit and think through and come to kind of the same realizations and observations I did. Because whereas and you guys know I am no fan of the baby boomers. You know I hate them as a group probably more than anything in the world, really. But to be intellectually honest, if we're going to make any kind of progress, we gotta flesh this one out, think it through, and hopefully I'll carry along my thought process, and we'll all learn a little bit of something. Now, the baby boomer generation, as a whole, is hands down the worst generation this country has ever seen. Okay, and even then, that maybe can't be said. But history is going to look back, and it's sealed, man. It's fated. The baby boomers will go down as the reason for the collapse and the decline of the United States and Western civilization. They are the first and largest generation to be parasitic in terms of completely coming nowhere near to producing the economic production they needed to in order that what they consumed. The social policy, the financial policy, it all started with the baby boomers. And so don't worry. The baby boomers will go down in history with the reputation that they deserve. However, that's the generation as a whole. And you cannot just say, oh yeah, generation wide, oh, okay, I'm not going to visit my parents in the nursing home because they're part of the baby boomers. Well, what if they were good baby boomers? Because there were good baby boomers. There were baby boomers that fought in Vietnam, baby boomers who stayed married and raised their kids right, baby boomers who supported their kids, baby boomers who worked hard, baby boomers who, whatever. They voted Republican or conservative, and I know Republicans do not have the greatest track record of fiscal austerity, but in voting Republican, you at least voted for the party that said they were going to go and try and, they didn't have Paul Krugman running around saying, deficits don't matter, they're a good thing. They at least tried to stop the bleeding. So not all these baby boomers out there are your leftist fucking hippie scum, the modern day fucking ponytail wearing professors who just completely got done raping you guys for tuition and books and Lord knows what cost. They're not these slimy banker politicians scumbags who are responsible for the national debt and deficits, and they're not the fucking bankster corporate scum that are responsible for all these bubbles and the housing bubbles, the financial bubbles that we keep having. So you can't just lob them all in there. So when it comes to should you visit baby boomers, presumably loved ones, because I don't know why you visit stranger baby boomers, do the baby boomers deserve visits in the nursing home? Well, it depends. It really depends. Were they good baby boomers? If your parents got divorced, did shit to raise you, I've heard some horrible shit, horrible crap, and not just physical abuse, but lying, stealing money, just abandoning the family. Fuck no. They don't deserve it. In being truthful and honest, if you had parents my parents went this way, but if I had parents that were voting in Democrats all the time, that's like stabbing you in the back. It is. I don't care, we love you. They don't love you enough to take the time to look at the federal fucking budget, study economics, and realize that what they're doing is voting to mortgage your future. So that might be a tougher decision for some of you where your parents, and I don't believe there's a correlation. I really don't. I know out of 300 million people there probably are Democrat baby boomers who stayed together, who did raise their kids right. Okay, I understand they're just misled. But usually 9 times out of 10, if you're a baby boomer, you're 65, and you still believe this leftist fucking bullshit, and you don't realize what you're doing, you're either fucking ignorant as all hell, or you're evil and selfish, and you plain don't give a fuck that you're living off of the younger generations. In which case, no nursing home visits for you. No nursing home money for you. Just shitty ass cheap, hey, you voted in government, you go get the government nursing home, alright? You go get that Social Security and Medicare. Good old government Barack Obama will come visit you in the nursing home. Not because you obviously love the government more than you did your own children by the way you voted. So you have to make a decision based on the merits of the individual. As a whole, yes, the baby boomer generation sucks. They just suck. They're pathetic. I could say I hate them. I really do loathe them, given how they've ruined, and I mean, the amount of effort. And I mean, a lot of you are enduring this now, how much effort and energy you put into doing what you were told was right. And not only is that energy and effort not rewarded, it was the completely wrong thing. You were misdirected. I mean, you were lied to, either consciously or not, about what to do in life. And now it's you got to raise yourself. You got to teach yourself. We have the knowledge sphere, the managed sphere, kind of raising our own, as it were, because the lifelong lessons. And don't even get me started about divorce and how much of a hurdle or a comeback you got to come back from with that. But anyway, larger point being, you got to judge the baby boomers independently and individually. Now, going further, though, it's not, do we judge this one generation and do we punish them by denying them the one thing we can't? Because if you look at, the boomers are going to get their money no matter what. They're going to pull off the greatest magical trick ever. They're going to die before ever having to pay for anything, and then before the tab comes due. So they're out of here. They're gone. So the academic, how do you punish them? Well, it's moot. You don't cut. You're not going to be able to cut their funding. That's not going to happen. The one thing, though, you can do to baby boomers who were assholes, who are responsible for this, is you deny them the only thing you can, and that's you. You deny them your presence. You deny them your time. You deny them, like, if you have baby boomer parents that treated you like shit, didn't get their act together, fucking dragged you through fucking hell. Oh, it's amazing how, like, and they don't plan their finances. Trust you me, they don't. It's amazing how much nicer they become when all of a sudden they realize that they need you. You know, oh yeah, you know that whole divorce thing and the abuse and all. Well, you know, I love you. Mommy needs health care. We need nursing. I need this rascal. It's amazing how much nicer they become. But in denying them visits and denying them your presence and effectively disowning them, I'm not saying disown them, but certainly do not financially support them. You punish them the one way that you do get a comeuppance. It's like, no. You treated me poorly. Fuck blood over water, or blood thicker than water. You were not a good, you parasite. You betrayed me. You voted in this shit. You voted in to mortgage our futures. And you just all these hurdles, we could go over it. The one thing you can do is say, no, I'm not spending time with you. You go cuddle up next to that Social Security check. You go cuddle up next to that Medicare check when you're in the nursing home. And maybe the local Democrat representative who's running for re-election will come in and visit you guys and drag and cart your asses out to the voting polls, because that's all they give a flying fuck about. You gave them your vote. They gave you money. It was my money. Fuck you. That's what you want. That's a relationship. Fine. You took a loving familial relationship and you transacted it for a financial one. Fine, you've made that choice. And that's how you get your revenge. Now, that is, doing that, yeah, you will get your vengeance. For those of you who are attracted here by the title saying, I'm not visiting my baby boomer family in the nursing home, fine, you will get your vengeance that way. That is not going to solve the problem, because here's the reason why. Mathematically speaking, the baby boomers did start it. But it wasn't like Gen X or the millennials stopped it. And if you look at voting patterns, the baby boomers at least figured it out in the end. And especially if you look at the election of Barack Obama twice, it's not the baby boomers who are now to blame. It's the millennials and Gen X. As we voted for Clinton, we were dumber than shit. And a lot of us also voted for Obama. But what we did is we didn't learn anything from the mistakes of previous generations. And if you want to be literal about it, you want to be mathematical about it, I mean, by the time Obama's done with his 2 terms, I think he will have accounted for half the national debt. So this one president in 2 terms, 8 years, amassed more debt than has been accumulated over the past 250 years of the U.S. And I understand inflation and all that, but still, who voted that guy in? And what did he piss away his money on? Well, it was the millennials. It was socialism. It was leftism. And it is not so much a particular generation or particular age or particular punishment, although the punishment is the same. It's an ideology. It's a politics. It's a religion that has been substituted out, or has substituted Christianity or Catholicism or whatever else. It's just a new religion. It's socialism. It's leftism. That's what's to blame. That's what's to punish. If we're to be intellectually honest, you got to admit that Gen X and the millennials are no better. Probably even worse with these millennial fucks coming up with their trigger warnings, and they're constantly fucking victims, and they need their safe houses and all the fat acceptance and all this other crap. So it is not, do we punish the baby boomer generation? Punish individual baby boomers. It's how do we punish these people who keep voting in to mortgage the future and not live in reality and vote for a parasitic existence. And this is why you don't necessarily punish baby boomers, you punish leftists. Now, we live in a democracy. Young people vote stupid. They're going to get their government cheese. They're going to get their government checks. They're going to get their bailouts. They're going to get their money. How do you punish them? Same way you do with the baby boomers who don't deserve nursing home visits. You deny them your presence. The number one valuable thing in life, the number one thing, and there's no opinion in this video. If you think I'm an opinionated, go fuck yourself. This is all fact. You'll never learn. You may not like it, but you'll never learn. The number one most important thing in life is other people. It's not money. It's not sports cars. It's not a gal with big tits, although that makes it a lot more fun. It is other people. And there's 7 billion people on this planet. And you know what really makes it worthwhile? It's not all 7 billion. It's a very small minority of people. It's called good people. It's called honest people. It's called noble, moral, righteous people. People who are good, honest, and fair. And above all else, probably intelligent and intellectually honest. Now you put all those combinations together, and I'm not saying it because there are some scumbag Republicans and conservatives, but you're going to usually end up in the conservative or libertarian theory or philosophy of life. Independence, freedom, self-reliance, respect of one's individuality, respect of one's personal private property, respect of one's individual beliefs, kind of like I'll let you live, you let me live, and the absolute hatred of parasitism. Those people you want in your life. Right? The leftists, the parasites, the whiners, the complainers, the victims, the ones who constantly want your money, they are not intellectually honest. They are not good, moral, upstanding people. They are not independent. They are typically, again, not all, there are some nice, wonderful Democrat type people, they're just misled. But as it goes on, as you get a little older, you should grow up to the point that if you're still a leftist, you are typically intellectually dishonest, lazy, you're a thief. You have no problem stealing and living off of other people. You're a liar. You'll come up and lie to yourself with the most fantastic of lies as to why you deserve other people's money. And you're usually not that smart and you're not that fun. You're kind of a real asshole. Not me. Kind of like a belligerent asshole, but honest. You're a lying sack of shit. You're a politician. You're a scumbag. You're a Goldman Sachs. You're a Paul Krugman. You have no problem living off of other people. Now, who do you want to have fun with? Who do you want to have in your life? What kind of life do you want to live? Because the people you surround yourself by is going to determine overall the majority of whether you had a good life or a bad life. Yes, money is going to have an effect. Yes, whether the government is tyrannical is going to have an effect. But who you surround yourself with and who you hang out with and who you decide to spend your precious and finite free and social time with, that is going to determine your happiness. So this is why I have no leftists and socialists in my environment at all. And what few I do have are conservative or libertarian. They just are idiots and they just, I gotta vote Democrat. I argue with them all the time. But anyway, if you got people in your life, getting back to me, like, look at I have no leftists. None. Because I don't tolerate someone stabbing me in my fucking back with a knife, acting like they're my friend. I don't tolerate family members. I don't tolerate friends. I don't tolerate strangers. I don't tolerate anyone at my table. The second I find out there's a school teacher or some kind of fucking typical leftist type person, I say, who'd you vote for? And they say Obama. It doesn't happen because I've so vetted out everybody. I kind of keep to them. I have a tight, small group of friends. I say, get the fuck out of here. No fucking socialists, no fucking parasites. You get the fuck out of here. And they're all offended. No, the sooner you people start doing that and starting to you ostracize the leftists, you start making them pay a social penalty, a familial penalty, a social cost, a friendship cost. That takes away a lot from them. Because you can argue till the moon goes blue, and you guys know this, you argue with the leftists. But when you take away friendship, when you take away social interaction, when you take away love, you take away family, now all of a sudden people, and it's the simplest of self-respect. Do you want to hang out with somebody that fucking betrays you, that fucking stabs you in the back, that fucking parasites off of you? Right? I'm done arguing. I'm done arguing with people. No, get the fuck out of here. You're a leftist. I have no respect for you. I have no time with you. I don't hang out with people like you. You're inferior. My life is too short. And so what it does is two things. One, it makes your group of people a lot more higher quality. You have honest people and actually much more intelligent people, and your debates and discussions and all that is, and they're more reliable, they're more trustworthy. Better girls. Oh my God, don't get me started about libertarian and conservative girls versus leftist socialist. Everything's rape leftist girls. Oh my God, forget that. But the other thing is, let's just say all conservatives and libertarians would just fucking ostracize and cut off all leftists. Say, no, I'm sorry. I have self-respect. I know you're a really cool guy and you're kind of fun to hang out with, but I'm not hanging out with you because you detract from my life. You put up hurdles. You lessen my life. You go hang out with the leftists. Imagine how fun that would be. Hanging out with nothing but leftists? Again, there are some smart leftists. There are some fun leftists. There are some leftists who genuinely care. But if they're forced to hang out with the social justice warriors, the fake rape accusers, the feminists, perfect example. Look at Hillary Clinton. Okay? There's a woman, do you think she's happy? This woman could damn well become president of the United States. She's got millions of dollars. She's had the easiest life ever. Going from Rodham, her father, to Bill. She has had everything. Everything. You and I and everyone else could just dream of having what Hillary Clinton has. And we wouldn't even come close to her reality as to how much she has. And she could damn well become president. What more could she want? This is what she's always wanted. Have you ever seen the cunt smile? She's miserable. You know why? Because she's married to a guy that fucks other women. Her boss is Barack Obama. She's surrounded by fucking leftists. That's all her life has been surrounded by basically, and it's the worst of the worst. At least in college you get like some morally correct, like they want to help people. Let's help the people with more money. They just haven't gotten to the math part of it yet. She's with the pros. She's with the heartless political operatives who don't give a flying fuck. They'll lie and cheat and scoundrel as long as they can get that government job and that power. Do you see how fun that must be? Do you see how happy she is? She doesn't know true love because her husband is a Democrat. She doesn't know true friendship. Who would want to hang out with her? Oh, let's all pick on George Bush. Yeah, you know what? George Bush has got a happy, good marriage, and I never see. He's got a sincere smile. He's got a sincere. Him and Laura, whatever the politics are, you may not agree with the politics, but you look at them, they're kind of happy. I think George Bush is like, he's got it figured out, and his older man, Herbert Hoover, 41. Wait, which one's the old one? The older one, the one who's about to die. He's happy because he's married to Barbara, right? They're honest on one capacity or another. They're at least honest. You may disagree with their Christianity or whatever, but they're honest, and they hang out with conservative or libertarian or at least freedom-loving people. Their entire career profession was not, how do we screw over naive people to give us money so we can go tax other people to give us money and votes. I mean, imagine that life. And honestly, you couldn't force me to trade in what I got now for what Hillary Clinton's got. No way. I'd have to be married to Bill Clinton. I'd have to be working with John Kerry. I'd have to be dealing with Nancy Pelosi. I'd have to be dealing with all these fucking inferior leftist scum. Just scum. Anyway, that's the ultimate punishment. That is what you do. You pull yourself out of it. You say, no, you don't get me. You don't get the human interaction. You don't get my friendship. You don't get my love, be it familial, romantic, or friendship. You don't get my camaraderie. You don't get my respect. You don't get my ear. If you're going to fuck over my future by voting in tyranny, communism, and socialism, fuck you. I'm sorry. I might want to have kids someday. I might want to raise a family. Or I do have a family and kids. And you are an antithesis to my future goals and my future happiness, my future freedoms. I cannot logically associate with you or hang out with you when you stab me in the back. It's like, yeah, we have the greatest beers, but then you stick a knife in me. And you're unaware, aware or not, you still stick the knife in me. And I know, again, this is kind of like, it's a dream, it's a pipe dream. But if all, like, roughly 45% of the population that's conservative or libertarian just decide to say, fuck it, we're not hanging out with leftists anymore. We're not hanging out with social. You just do what I do. You say, my group of friends are tight but loyal and cool and self-supporting. They're very interesting people. Not only would you have much better lives, but I think you'd actually slap the faces of the left half of the country. Getting them to realize that they are causing damage, that they are naive, that they are stupid, or at least ill thought out, and that there is a cost and a consequence to saying you want to help people but never actually getting around to figure out whether that works or not. To being naive, to being foolish, to being so easily conned by slick-haired politicians who tell them what they want to hear. Oh yeah, more money for single moms and all that. Oh no, and who then go believe the lies that all these people who are in the way are evil, racist, bigoted, fascist, homophobic, whatever it is. Once you cut them out in your personal lives, you don't hire them, you don't marry them, you don't date them, you have nothing to do with them, you cut them off totally. Those people, I wouldn't say it's losing their right arm, but it's losing their left. It might be losing a foot. Whoa, I just lost everyone. I got this guy. He nice guy, wonderful guy. Once Barack Obama was elected, he started laughing at us on the conservative Republican. No one hangs out with him anymore. His life is miserable. His life is miserable. So, that's kind of cold and heartless. No, what's cold and heartless is that fucker jacked up my property tax, or not my property taxes, my income taxes with his one. That fucker is, now I got to pay how much in Obamacare because he voted for Obama. So if you really want to get back at, quote, the baby boomer generations or Gen X or whatever, don't get back at people based on age. Don't get back at saying it's my policy not to visit old farts in the nursing home. Find out who in your circle of friends, who in your environment, who at work, who at whatever, vote for left, vote for tyranny, vote for socialism, vote for government, go vote for the state, and say fuck the individual at the expense of the individual, and still want to be your friend or have something to do with you. Cut them off. And yeah, they'll get their government check. Yeah, they'll get their Social Security and their Medicare and their Medicaid. But they will be alone. In one capacity or another, they will be alone. Either at a nursing home or surrounded by a ton of leftists like Hillary Clinton. And they will be miserable. And then you will get your revenge. Anyway, best of luck to all of you. Toodles.